Welcome back, NBA fans. This week, on episode 9 of the NBA miniseries Quest for the Cup, we meet the newest team in the NBA, the Chicago Untouchables. All right, today I'm joined by Mitch Wiskerchen from the Chicago Untouchables. And Mitch, you are the man that does it all, player, coach, and doing everything behind the scenes, helping out run the newest organization in the NBA. Welcome, and thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Super excited to be here. Super excited to get this new team rolling and kick it off for the NBA.
Absolutely. And I love, we see the logo behind your head right now. Just 3 or 4 months ago in Utah, you were wearing bright orange as a member of the Tennessee Tyrants.
Yeah.
But, as that has now moved to Dallas in the Texas area, you have taken new reins and started running the newest team alongside the Dallas Tornadoes. The Chicago Untouchables are born. What has that journey been like for you?
It's been wild. It's been fast. So it's been super exciting. When Jay approached me about it and everything started to fall together, it was more and more exciting. Every day as I'm hearing more and more updates and getting a name together and getting uniforms and logos and all that kind of stuff. And being a part of that was super special and really, really exciting.
Yeah. And, it's great because I think there's so many things I just love about what you guys are developing. One of my favorite things, you mentioned Jay. So for anyone that doesn't know, we are creating with this team one of the first across league rivalries in that you mentioned Jay, and that's Jay Amado, father to middle on the OC Stunners, Nick Amado, running a separate team. So we've got our first family feud in the league. I'm excited to see that unfold.
Yeah, we'll definitely gonna want to get out in front of Nick on that one. We'll see how that one goes if we come across the Stunners.
I can't wait to see it happen, especially for the first time, just like 1 month away. Now, as someone that's coming from that culture, the guys that never say die, the grinders, the point finders with what was the Tyrants, when you were coming over and now kind of at the helm of the Untouchables, what were you looking for with these new players? I mean, you had a pretty high bar for expectations. How could anyone hope to meet that?
Yeah, I don't know. There's plenty of guys that have lots of talent, and we found a lot of them. That bar is certainly high, like you said. We want the guys that want to get in the gym and want to compete the right way and want to grow the right culture in a group of guys that is playing for each other and playing for, our location. It's nice to have some East Coast guys that get to come out and rep with us, with that group of Tyrant core people that came to join us. So you can definitely expect that type of Tyrant attitude that we had going on, and it's going to be now the Untouchable attitude and Untouchable vibe moving forward. That's just going to be aggressive and scrappy and just super stoked to be in the gym competing at such a high level.
For anyone that's seen adult volleyball or you've seen these Midwest NCAA teams, I just can't help but be inspired. I mean, that's what Midwest volleyball has always been about. So when I see on your guys' social media that you've got 40 plus guys in your gym from what look like high level play, I mean, it seems like you guys are going to be able to slot a roster in your first year that's ready to compete. What do you think?
Yeah, I would certainly agree with you. That's, most definitely one of the goals is making sure that we come in here and represent ourselves right and represent the league right and have a high level of talent across the board in all positions to, you said it, just compete in our league at such a high level and be successful.
And, what are your thoughts? So you got a chance, you were on the court in November. You played against the best of the best, ex-Olympians, current national team guys. Do you think that helps as the coach and as a player on this squad when you're kind of prepping everyone for the upcoming 2021 season? What did that unfold like on the court for you?
Certainly. That's certainly something that we're talking about, right? We wouldn't be doing our job if we didn't, talking about the guys that were there in Utah that were doing the best at their position or made the all tournament team. And we want to gauge that level and, that height of the tide, so to speak, to make sure that we're riding there and playing at that level. So certainly being in Utah and playing in Utah as well helped tremendously to have an idea of what the things that we're going to see and some of the styles from some of the teams that we're going to see, and knowing the group of guys that we're going to have along with the new ones that have joined us in our area to, you said it, compete at that level and at that expectation.
And, hearing about like kind of the origin of your team of Tornadoes, of all these teams, as we're just a new league, 3-4 years in, I think one of the things that I keep an eye on the most is the pipeline. And so sitting here in Chicago, I mean, you guys have some NCAA schools in the area. You guys have NAIA schools in the area. What is that process? Have you looked at those schools? How are you kind of trying to harness them in the upcoming future?
You hit it on the head. We're definitely looking into all of those places, right? You're looking for guys that have the right culture, that have the right skill set, that have complete volleyball player skill set, and trying to be in touch with the people and grow the network so that we can start funneling those really high level and local guys into what we want to have out of the Midwest as a mecca of volleyball.
And it's great to see someone you are born and bred Chicago through and through. So to have someone like you that's so passionate about representing your region truthfully, honestly, and to the core, it's done right, man. The Chicago Untouchables feel just like that from the get-go. You guys, your brand is on point. It just feels untouchable. Like you guys sound, I love it.
Yeah, I mean, I would point out for my true city dweller friends that I'm born and raised in the suburbs, but we are in the Chicagoland sprawl. So I certainly feel that the Chicagoland home. But yeah, I might get some guff about that and not actually living in the city.
Hey, as a SoCal native, I understand that when people are like, I'm from SoCal versus like I'm from Cali versus I know how that debate goes. Now, to touch a little bit on the name, so for anyone that doesn't know, the Untouchables is founded out of, basically it was the U.S. Justice Department fighting Al Capone in the late 20s, early 30s in Chicago proper, fighting against the rum runners and everyone that was, the bootleggers and things like that.
Absolutely. They actually brought in Elliott Ness. Elliott Ness is a legendary, law enforcement officer from days of old and part of the Justice Department. So they did. And when we were going through the whole name and logo process, we definitely wanted to bring that Chicago historical root into it and went through a bunch of ones actually. And then when this one kind of settled in, it was like, all right, this is going to work super nicely. And we got that historical element that we want. I think it spices up nicely and it holds that weight that we're looking for in a team name, right? Like
absolutely. And you just, like I said, I'm excited. I love it when I see the same excitement I got with the Tennessee Tyrants of old, kind of that core transitioning over, the new brand, the new name. And I'm just excited to see Chicago finally represented, right? The Chicago volleyball not being represented in professional volleyball, as far as I'm concerned, is a crime. It is a staple and a homestead for just high quality players that want to get after it, want to share what the sport is all about. And as far as we've talked about growing the game, there is no better place than the Windy City.
You said it. The sprawl of people and the growth of volleyball that already exists in the Chicagoland area is fantastic. And it's getting bigger and bigger every year. We definitely have that group of people that have that, almost a chip to get out and prove. And I believe we have, you got some national championships, 2 back-to-backers that are coming out of the Midwest area. So there's something to be said about that. There's wins and championships, like you said, all sorts of things, adult nationals. We got that kind of stuff. So I think that the Midwest definitely has the talent base, and they're super hungry for that professional way to put that out there and just showcase all of that talent and ability coming out of our region.
Hey, you're not going to let us down. I know that for certain. But for anyone that wants to follow along on that journey, how can they check you guys out, stay tuned, and support, one of the newest upcoming teams in the NBA?
Yeah, we have our Instagram's our main spot, Chicago Untouchables. It's on there. And we got Facebook set up. You got all these kind of clips and highlights and, meet the team and all that kind of stuff will just be flowing and coming at you the whole season, and just priming and prepping and getting everybody all jacked up about Chicago volleyball and untouchable volleyball, man.
Couldn't have said it better. Hey, for everyone that's a volleyball fan, be sure to check them out. But you know what? If you want the best way to experience what the Chicago Untouchables are all about, be sure to tune in the upcoming April event. We are less than 1 month away from the 2021 NBA season. Be sure to check them out on the court as they battle it out and make their NBA debut. Mitch, thanks so much for your time. I cannot wait to see you guys get after it.
Thank you so much, Nick. Super excited. Getting to go to California. Who can be upset about that?
Hey, I hear you, man. Bring them out and represent that Midwest team proud.
Great, man.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Can't wait to see your boys hit the court and blow away the competition in the upcoming 2021 season. Be sure to tune in next Monday, April 5th, for episode 10 as we meet with the Texas Tyrants. We'll see you then.